Hello, London. We're live on air on YouTube, broadcasting to the world. Wave hello to the camera. Say hello to everyone. So people have been working hard. Have you got any energy left? Can we go better? Well, how are you feeling, London? Yay! All right. So 48 hours. Well, we're about 64 hours or something like that into the global hackathon. Hello everyone that's watching or catching up later to check out the teams in London and what they've been building over the last 2 days to address climate change challenges. We've been really privileged to be joined by and had input from some of the world's leading NGOs and talent partners. Some of whom are represented here, and some of whom will be sharing the presentations afterwards. Just want to thank you all for being part of it, really. It's, many of you have been along to the Hackabit event. I think we've grown in momentum, and I think we're sort of slowly improving our ability to really organise across multiple cities. Still a few things in the work for 0.6. So we're working our way towards 1.0, just about there. But what's important is not kind of exact sort of streamlined running of the event, but what's been built by other people. I really hope that the process we've been through and sharing challenges and problem statements and webcasts, sort of leading minds and organizations working in climate change, really hope that played a part in helping you come up with ideas. And what we are increasingly seeing from Hackabit is ideas turning into projects, turning into long-term sustainable projects, whether they're social enterprises or funded by NGOs or startup companies coming out of Hackabit. And we're really trying to put everything in place to make that possible. So this is one reason why we very much encourage the input from challenge partners to be along the lines of what are the big problems in the world, and then the ideas how to solve them come from us and you. Yes. Is this all going out of the class?
Yeah. Just adjusting the angle. Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, so I'm not going to say much more other than thanks for being part of it here in London. Thanks to everyone for being part of it worldwide. We had just over 1,000 registered participants taking part in, I think it was around 30 venues in the end, plus many, many more participating online and remotely. I know a few of you in the room have been working with others in other cities and countries, so that's really fantastic. I hope you'll go on to continue the project and keep helping grow the Hackabit movement. So, just a couple of teams, get a couple of people to work out. Also, we're grateful to David. Thank you for being part of this on a little scale. We've just hit in. This is a great opportunity to change how we motivate others. Do you want to say anything about that? That's on it now. I can't wait to see it. Tom, do you want to say a few words and introduce yourself?
Thank you very much. We've got all hands, but also the Rackspace, who has continued to sponsor it. I'm giving signal my last. Yep, you're good. Who has been sponsoring each year. I hope we continue to. We've been with us for a while, and we've been hyper to it for quite a while. We have a big segment of our company called Rack is Fat, which is all driven by local charity. So actually good. All balancing the opportunity projects, getting them spun up as fast as they can, infrastructure to run. During a hackathon, you typically only need small stuff on your laptop. So we offer what we can to that hackathon. It's more about once you go live, how we can help running
David and David, it'd be great if we could say a few words about what you do and in particular the opportunities for teams to continue the project during the hackathon and how you see that possibly happening. Stand up, so please.
Hello, I'm Dave Goldberg. I'm the director at Founders Forum for Good. Founders Forum for Good supports social entrepreneurs who use digital for social impact. We do that through a number of different programs, provide access to capital and funding, provide access to pretty awesome events where our founders come and participate in, and provide support in a number of capacities. So I look forward to hearing all about the projects today and hopefully working with some of the ones that get spun out of this as businesses and digital solutions to big global problems.
Yes. I'm also called David. I'm here representing Launchpad Labs. We are a charity based over in London. We have a pilot co-working space incubator just north of Ulster Roundabout. We are a space for early stage entrepreneurs, and in particular early stage entrepreneurs from a disadvantaged background. We help single parents, people with long-term health conditions, people that might have terrible credit, and try and give them the help and resources which everyone else from more privileged backgrounds or everyone else with an extremely exciting tech business is able to get. So we're 3 months in, we have 30 wonderful startups, and we're growing all the time. So if you're ever at Old Street, I'd love to show you what we're doing and introduce you to some of the startups we're already helping. Thanks.
You've got about space for 10 more, right? Or 5
yes.
more? Yeah.
There's a few more spaces left, and at this rate we're probably going to have a second space by somewhere in the next year.
Awesome. Thanks. Quickly, thank Impact Hub. I think it's been an awesome venue, really spacious, and all the facilities were great. Would everyone agree? Yeah. Awesome. And thanks to Tickle for providing beer and for hosting stimulating conversation on climate change and topics opinion on it. Thanks to our other global API partners, CarpDB, SendGrid, Gandhi.net. Anyone who's launching a project here has free domain names and hosting from Gandhi.net. So take that up to the projects out there. Okay, so I think we'll go on to demos. Everyone ready for demos? Yeah. All right, low carbon councils up first. So you've got demo format is 3 minutes maximum, then 1 minute of questions and answers to the judges. If anyone else in the room wants to ask questions or has any feedback or points, then do about a minute of that. Try to switch between teams. So I'll just call up each team is going to go next, and then we can get ready and great.
All right, thanks very much. Great to be kicking off the London.
Oh, and hold the microphone perpendicular, like out. Yeah.
This happening.
Like a rock star.
Brilliant. Well, that's what we are, right? Okay. Excellent. Let's go. So, got the slides? Working on the slides. Okay.
Who are you and
Okay.
who's your team?
Sure. So we are presenting low carbon councils. The team will be myself, Jason, and Ben, and all of the delivery station themselves off camera. So, in terms of background, Jason has been working for Repowering London. It's actually community energy, as am I, working with Bristol Energy Co-op. So that was part of our motivation for getting involved in this particular challenge. So there's self-interest. In terms of promoting the work that our community groups have been doing to make it easier. Room full of IT people. Doesn't get slide up.
slides are amazing.
They are well worth the wait, people. Yay! Too bad. It's our first demo.
That's time up. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, we actually covered most of that. Brilliant. Okay, so ramping up renewable energy generation in the UK is a real focus for a lot of us here, and it's a big challenge. One thing that would make it a whole lot easier would be a set of engaged and supportive local councils. Now, some local councils are doing fantastic things, working locally in this example, but there's a few out there who really haven't been supporting our cause. They have a huge potential to help with renewable generation. They have control of the planning process, and they also own a lot of buildings in their local area. As such, they have enormous potential, and we'd like to identify those councils which are doing well and single them out for the praise they deserve, and also the ones which aren't doing so well, and maybe give them a bit of a prod in the right direction. So our challenge, we've responded to the Energy Production Challenge, looking to stimulate the growth of renewable energy. Our solution to look at this weekend is low carbon councils. We've got a website that ranks councils by their renewable energy generation in their area. With that, we can start to see who's doing well and who's idle. We've done this on the basis of renewable energy capacity in kilowatts per household. So that brings it right down to the individual level, and it gives us a comparison across different size areas. We're looking to provide transparency about what's going to be happening and spark some action. And as such, we've included things to the council Twitter pages and emails. We're really hoping to get some active discussion and make it a public forum. We also have comments there. But now I'm going to dive on to our active demo, which I will hand over to Jason.
Jason, your screen's not actually sharing now that you've plugged into the projector. Yeah, that's screen share, okay.
On the left side. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you good. Good. Okay. Cool.
Yes, that's it.
Hi everybody. So here's what we built. It's live on low carbon consoles. So you can see in the left-hand side, map of the UK. So what we've done is we've color-coded councils based on how much renewable capacity they have per head of the population. So some councils are doing a really great job. Like if you look up here, the top got like Orkney. They're top out of the councils in Scotland. So what we think is important with this is that you sort of don't mind ranking everybody in the country on one scale. It's kind of important to rank the similar councils together because Scotland's very different from London geographically. So, but what you can see here is that Orkney are doing like a great job of promoting renewables in their area. If we scroll a bit wider and down more towards London. So if we jump in on London, it's quite a different story. There's Westminster. There's much lower sort of engagement with renewables, and councils in London do an awful lot more. So you can see these very light colours here. So like Kensington and Chelsea, probably one of the most richest places in the UK, has very little renewable generation, even compared to the councils around it. So you can see they're 26 out of the 33 London boroughs. There's other parts of London that do much better. So picking here on Bexley, they've got a lot more installations happening, and there's a there about that. So that was the goal, to sort of bring this data out of spreadsheets and drive people's attention about other things that councils are doing. And what we've also put in is some stuff to tweet to your council and councillors to sort of ask them why the council can do more about it.
All right, thanks, Jason. Let's skip on a few slides. So in terms of what we're working on, we went through some open data, passed into the database, used JSON files, built our website on Heroku. We've obtained and downsized some local authority GeoJSON regions, and we'll also be making those downsized regions available to platforms because much longer than they should have done, so we don't want to save people that way. And we also pulled in Twitter and email data from openlylocal.com, great site for transparent public. That's what's coming next. We're going to own it, debug it, and get it out there. It's live, see it now, and we'll be continuing to work on it and making it as good as it can be. So we've got our Twitter handles up there. Feel free to get in touch with any of us. And yeah, let's invite any questions.
Thanks.
Yeah, the data you're getting in from the government, we've had data, how fresh and how often do they update it? Like how often is staff going to be changing?
Good. So that's updated quarterly. It's up on data.gov. So it's pretty easy to refresh, reload, load on it.
And you talk about putting it in bug testing and everything else. But those supposed to be on the good side, right? It looks like it's a pretty concentrated area of percent. You know, not a lot to worry about.
Yeah. We've got a few more small tweaks we'd like to put in graphs down for the renewable energy split. But other than that, yeah, we want to keep it very focused, lightweight, and just absolutely focused on telling the story.
Are there links to things I can ask, tell my friends that they should be doing?
Sorry.
The people running accounts might even know how to do their renewable energy.
Absolutely.
Can you repeat the question as well?
Yeah, sure. So the question was, are there links to point councillors to if they're missing information themselves? Absolutely. So we'd like to link it to community energy groups, local area, and energy pressure groups, environmental groups. Yeah, there's definitely that information out there.
Be my council now.
Fantastic.
One more question.
Do you know if they've been cancelled to someone that's always responsible for this sort of thing? I've just found my council on their last. So like, I sent a tweet. I know, I'm ashamed. I sent a tweet, but you know, who's it going to go to apart from the social media?
Sure. So the question was, is there someone at the council who's responsible? There often is someone at the council who's responsible for energy. There'll always be someone who has it within their remit, whether they actually take an active interest in it. That's up to us. So yeah, there's definitely scope for making real difference here. Stay safe.
Right, thank you guys.
Cheers.
So if you have more questions,
Yeah, please do.
who's next? So we have does anyone want to like volunteer to be the person that helps connect the computer? Well, so then the team can kind of introduce themselves as yeah, go for it. Thanks.
Thank you. I knew someone who doesn't but they knew someone who volunteer.
What
a laptop. I hear from the last person. Still working.
is it?
This for a laptop.
Ah,
So it's less personal.
I'm live tweeting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. I tried one, but it just didn't work.
How many people are in CleanWeb here?
Yeah.
What is CleanWeb's number? Jason, do you want to tell people about CleanWeb?
I will certainly tell people about it.
Yeah, cool.
I've just tweeted Kensington and Chelsea Council. Naming and shaming them, so feel free to retweet them. So they get the message.
Screen share. Desktop. Yep.
If you can go to the browser, 5.76.
5.76.
150.
150. Yeah.
68/home.
Home.
Yeah.
They have typically every month.
Works.
So like biodiversity or energy or what's the next one?
Next one is on mapping.
Mapping.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, air pollution, aviation, energy. Yeah. All sorts of mapping.
It's a good place if you're interested in something we're working on.
Okay, yeah. So first of all, I'm alone here, but two people here, and they're both remote. So I just want to mention that it's not just my own thing. One person is in Iran, and one person is in London somewhere. So yeah, we just try to visualize data. So this is CO2 per country. One of the main problems actually is like that data is not very accurate. If you pick data from the whole world, it's not accurate. But yeah, so dark is the highest one and white is the lowest one. And then you can also, so if you click on a country, you can see the CO2 percentage per year. So on the left is supposed to be 1990s, and on the right is supposed to be 2013. But the data is a bit messed up. So now I need to, and you can also compare two countries. So the light green is UK and the dark green is US. So you can compare the amount of CO2 they produce. But yeah, I just want to mention that the data is not 100% correct, but in some years it seems to be fake. And I'm not an expert, but I was told that when you have global warming, it also affects other areas of life. So, for example, can affect agriculture. So if we pick a year, 2007, was it? So yeah, that's different data set. So that's for agriculture. The black ones are countries that we just have no data for them. So yeah, you can still compare countries on how the agriculture is going. I think potentially we should be able to say to compare different data sets for a country, so not just compare two countries on one data set, but we probably should be able to compare different data sets on one country. And yeah, it's the same thing, it's just like more different data sets if you want to see. We can just show the GDP as well. So yeah, that's the inflation. So that's all. Sorry, got any questions?
Where you have the black spots, zero data, is that because you can't find the data or because those countries aren't releasing the data?
I downloaded data from World Bank, so that's why I mentioned that it's not 100% guaranteed that the data is accurate, but for these countries, World Bank didn't have any data, so I just plugged them out. So if you want, I can give you a better example. So if I go plant species threatened, and 2011 and search. So this is pretty much all black because this data is kind of new in the website. So yeah, if someone wants to share data, I find a big problem finding data. So if someone wants to share data on trees that are threatened, feel free to do.
Is the data all per capita, or is it total emission?
Some data is per capita, so the CO2 is per capita, but some data is not per capita. It depends on the data set. Yeah, I should include it, but I didn't.
What technology did you use?
I started with D3, but I just didn't want to do D3 because it's too hard. So the thing on the top, the thing that appears on the top is built with D3 bar charts, but the map is built with I copied the SVG paths and then I load them with kinetic.js, if you know it. It's just framework. So I just didn't want to do it with D3. It's too hard. Yeah. Okay, that's all.
Thank you.
Next up we have what's learned challenge. So, a couple words. Really, probably, the most challenging time.
So, I'm involved in this. Are we got?
Yeah.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so. So yeah, we're only a little bit of our team. The rest of the team is in Barcelona, Berlin, Stuttgart, LA. What is this one? San Francisco. Sorry. And Lancaster. Yeah, so we're a virtual team, and we're not actually presenting here. We're only a minority team in London. But Dan asked us just to say a little bit about what we're doing and just, I guess, to share. So, in brief, I'll keep like the one summary pitch would be that we've built a tool to help people challenge themselves to take on new climate-friendly behaviors, to pledge to do something, to measure and track that, and to challenge their friends to do the same. Why? Because we think that although a lot of these things are known, we know what we should be doing, it's kind of difficult to start a new behavior, and it's kind of tricky to keep it up as well. So actually, a lot of the science says that a number of things, such as having your, seeing your friends doing it, seeing your friends succeed, being kind of nudged and reminded along the way, all these things can help you start new habits. And I guess it's inspired by the ALS phenomenon as well. So seeing how that took off. So we've incorporated that element of challenge with friends, with forfeit element as well, so that if you don't actually keep to your promise and your pledge, you kind of have to do something a bit embarrassing. And the whole thing is pitched at a certain kind of audience, which we think isn't kind of a natural audience for climate change campaigners, but is the kind of audience that responds well to social campaigns, getting profiled in fun stuff, succeeding at it, competing with your friends, and so on. We'll share with you the Google Doc, and maybe some of you will see this presentation later with all that in it. Howard, do you want to say a little bit about what we're looking at?
Yeah, I would actually we have we can fundraise the money by just visiting API by clicking the fundraise charity logo. And we have actually the two mobile apps, the Windows Phone application and iOS application.
Cool. Yeah, so you're just looking at kind of a work in progress later, probably not too much later, we'll see some example pages where you will get a sense of how people will pledge certain actions, whether it's cycling to work for a year, whether it's retrofitting your house with insulation, whether it's getting a bit more politically engaged, going on a climate march in New York. We've got a kind of range of examples and a range of example profiles to show you how we hope people will use it, including some kind of embarrassing forfeit examples as well. And yeah, as Pavel says, there's the option to donate to a good cause as a forfeit, or just because you want to.
So the forfeit, so can you put a forfeit for a year's time and it'll come out of your just giving account?
Yeah, that's the intention. It's not working right now, but yeah. Or indeed, if it's a kind of thing like, if I don't go on the climate march, I will walk around Central Park in my underpants in a one-man protest. You know, you'll be nudged and reminded to do that at some day as well.
Yeah, two things. One is how close to being activated.
How close to being ready?
How close are you to going live?
I
should
think,
ask the rest of the team.
Yeah, but I think that to midnight we can start. To midnight today.
Within the next day, you can start midnight.
Yeah, I mean right now it is live, so the page is live.
If a million people suddenly decide to sign up,
yes.
You have it. Cool.
Infrastructure rate, that's the question.
I'm
scale for that.
So yeah, we have constantly cloud, so we can pay it.
Right. Could it handle it if people started doing things right now? I'm about to tweet.
Tweets can be huge. How many followers do you have?
Are you going to enable notifications to go out to things like so I can say if you achieve or failed?
Absolutely.
But that probably should be at the discretion of the scientific, but it comes from saying it's okay.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Yeah. Thank you.
And do you have an app developer or somebody? This is the type of thing that people probably won't build a website for. They probably want to do function.
Well, I should put on here. Do we have an app developer working on it?
Oh, you already built that.
With Windows app.
A Windows app and iOS app.
Alright, so.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Oh, do you
Hold
want to
that
take it offline?
attention. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Everyone's got Hangouts open, which you have. Then you mute your speakers. Think we're going to get not many people broadcasting, presenting. Next up, local flooding, climate change. That will be. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
We wouldn't have found it on an error. Do you
Okay. Do you know that's sharing the screen?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Good. Basically visualizing what the effects of rising water could be in your locality. A few months back, there were a bunch of things that went viral on Facebook and Twitter like this, which show nicely what's going to happen. A little bit of the investigation, though, shows quite quickly that it's basically bollocks. It's visualizing nonsense. So here's exactly the same thing. This is what's going to happen at the top of Mount Fuji, which is unlikely to happen. So what we were going to do was something that was
actually reliable data, with real data, and there are some places which have this place, sealevel.planetcentral.org, which is a US-based thing that shows quite accurately what the range of possibilities happen in places like Boston. But it's only for a number of limited US cities, so we want to do that to the globe. We found some data sets that would allow us to do that. So we built this, which we haven't quite managed to get it across the globe yet. We've got data churning through though, and this is the data of the south coast of the UK. All we can show you is this is the expected change, so this pretty much certainly will happen. This is a half-metre rise in sea level, which is going to be like at very large areas. And so the sort of extreme case, which is 1.5 metres rise in sea level, it chews up more of the land. The area we covered, is way across most of the channel. You can see there are areas with quite a lot of problems. But of course over here in Belgium and Holland, it's a lot more serious what they've got to cover. You can see quite clearly where the dates are. And the level of information that they're already doing. So anyway, the data is processing at the moment. We hope to have files covering most of Eurasia quite soon. And we also have all the data for so on to approach later. But that's where we can see them up. So, are there any questions? Yes, if you go to bit.ly/sealevelmap. So this is how do you envisage to enable people to act on seeing that? So they're shocked and followed. We haven't done anything to it. There's nothing. There's no even description of what it's showing you really. It's just a map with data behind it. What we concentrated on is getting the data right behind it. The data has come from spot elevations as measured by this page. But one thing that we really like to do, but we couldn't figure it out, would be to add sort of tidal, high tide, high stream tide to it, because half-metre sea level rise doesn't sound like a lot, but that's pretty much certain that's what happened by the 18th century. But then you add on to that sort of 2 to 3 metres of high tide. And suddenly it becomes quite a big bunch of your map to maintain blue. So adding the high tides on top of it, surge tides, so would be a good thing to do. But of course, that's not, we don't really have the data in place to do that. It's changes so much.
One more question?
Carrying on from that, on the tides in the UK, you can get data source for every country.
Yeah.
You make stuff with that. That's how sea data is far. So that's one of the next steps I think from sustainability planning, are there any agencies or people that you would want to see this who could then use it and publish it more? So it's great to have this visualization so that you can be part of it. On the size of
I don't know. But if anybody would like to talk to me about it, I'd be very happy to.
Thank you. It's self-effect. Okay. All the URLs on the all of the plugins. Oh yeah, they are on there. Yeah. So today or like tomorrow, remember when you created the project in the hackathon app? You went to the idea and created a project from it. Now with your project, you can go and create an achievement card to share with the world what you've achieved this weekend and what you built. And then all of those from everywhere, every team around the world, is all going to be showcased on one page, showing the kind of sum total of what was built this weekend. So go in and create an achievement card, and you can go to each other's and high-five them, just like we've been doing with the projects. Ready to go?
This is my first hackathon, so we have a few pictures. Anyway, so I'll start by introducing myself. It's literally frozen. So anyone else?
Yes. Yes.
So then, yeah. Yeah.
So two votes. It's gone to the bathroom. Corporate reporting. Do you want to go?
Hi.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to have DT corporate reporting, and then pre-motion, and then we'll finish with surplus, not waste. Yeah, okay, we'll do run on sun as well. Sorry, didn't have you written on the list. Good.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Adam. So here, this is Irene. Yeah, this is my first hackathon as well. Okay, so our project is, it's got various names, but I think we settled on environmental tracking reporting project. So this has come from an idea from Marini and the Environmental Investment Organization, and they do, well, they're actually the only company in the world that does publicly transparent tracking of the world's largest companies to their carbon footprint. So what they've been doing up to now is a bunch of generous volunteers have been trawling the world's largest 500 companies. Just lots of very big companies. So these volunteers have been basically trawling these corporate websites, looking for the company's reports on their carbon emissions, which I believe they're not necessarily legally required to publish. Some of them are more responsible than others. Some of them are really good and report in great detail what their carbon footprint is, and others report nothing at all. So EIO is basically publicly tracking them and sort of keeping them honest and ranking them. The end goal is to have a market index which could be linked to their pension, their share price. So eventually there could be a real financial impact, depending on how good they are at how responsible they are towards the environment. But at the moment, getting this information from the governments is really problematic because the way they publish it, there's no structure to it at all. Every company publishes it in a different way. Sometimes it's just like one page on the website that sort of mentions 20 CO2 emissions in passing, but doesn't classify what that means. Others do full breakdowns, kind of the different types of emissions and so on. Sometimes it's embedded inside the PDF. So it's a very kind of laborious process trying to find this information and track it. So there were two things that we were looking at doing. One was to sort of, to some extent, automate the gathering of this data. Because of the wide variety in formats, we decided in the end we was very good benefit to doing that. Maybe we would save a bit of effort, but it's essentially a manual process. So the longer term view is what we focused on, which is to build a system that allows these companies to report this data responsibly in a structured manner to EIO, and then that data will be available for anyone to examine and do an analysis on. And then potentially we would publish a schema for the data that could then be, after the data is gathered, we publish according to the schema, so it should be legal for organisations to do analysis on it as well. So we focused on building basically an application to help companies report their emissions data publicly, and also eventually for the carbon analysts and volunteers who are trawling websites to be able to report the same data if the company doesn't volunteer that data themselves. So that's the idea. Next slide. Okay. 1 minute left. Oh, right. All left. Okay. So so we've got the Rails app. There's one here. So we've got the authentication and invitation system more or less working. Apologies to the previous project who demonstrated how electronically we kind of pitched their roadmap and much more appropriate for them. So yeah, this is, so if you go into the survey, this is what it looks like. Companies submit various things, various data, let's say scope 1, CO2, and so on. Various other technical stuff. So the simple form, they submit it, and then you just want to go to the admin method quickly. This kind of, you get a chance to use this yet. But this gives an admin interface for. So you can invite new companies to take part. The reporting stuff needs a lot of work. That's in the future direction. But the data is basically already done to CSV and to JSON as well. It's not the structure. So yeah, so next steps, polish, reporting, like we said, as supported for volunteers who collect data to submit to the company. Maybe some technical improvements and showing road slides and biotech. So the conclusion is that we achieve more than expected. We typically use different kind of technologies for the project. Very useful Geeklist, questions?
I really overcome informed data. If share prices how do you think you're enforce companies to how do you get that region? How do you create forms that they all agree on?
Yeah, well, I guess you want to speak to that.
How do you get that reach or that distribution? How do you get that send back to the market there? Consistency of the much challenge.
Well, the data that they have is so there's actually some of it. And essentially, companies are probably all the world have basically work out all the problem is we don't have but it is submitted sometimes to third parties, we then don't so essentially we just want to get them to either give us the data so we can or if we give them a format that is that for my time on their website. But essentially we have to
And since the recent years, the liquidity is just required. And in the future, more stuff will be
I know of some organizations that are going into large companies, working with them, improve their sustainability in terms of trying to make them more money. How do you think that this method will be more successful than using the open data environment?
That's basically so the EIO and the ranking basically lists the world's largest companies and essentially into so we rank them and then we give them a lot of PR based on it. So if the companies don't do it, then
This makes mostly wondering whether you were carrot or stick. It seems like it's sticking under some companies going the other angle, saying we'll make money if you change to more sustainable in these areas. I'm sorry, which you think is more effective?
Yeah, there are also other considerations that we are being behind the environmental investment, which is that if companies are not disclosing this information, then how can people who manage our collective wealth, pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, manage their investments without disclosing what they're doing? So kind of, there's a synergy with the companies that are going to do. They go in and they provide performance for companies, but then if they disclose their improved performance, then investors can recognize those results in the market through share price performance. And ultimately, the pension funds that are tracking that information and share that wealth with the people.
Okay. Then move on to.
I think the balance is side of the renewable reporting. I know these people, they put carbon disclosure, but it's good down there and that they die. You could make a decent standard of that process. So, you could sell that kind of service.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, right.
Hello. Hi, my name is Caspar. So I work with a team of 7, mainly online, but a few of us got online. And we were trying to set up a project called Devotion. This was to move on to the Chinese by Flora and Fauna International. And basically, we wanted to set up some kind of fun way to demonstrate how what the impact can be of using more and more tree species. So this was a tree conservation. There are team members, so you can see we're wearing English, and Russian line. We started fairly late, so I put the project up yesterday around lunchtime. So people who looked at the project were really either already finished on other projects, or we were going to strain us to join late, or we're working on multiple projects. So we were working closely with Fauna and Flora International. So Gavin was in touch with us online all the time. We were able to ask some questions and get some data. So this was the challenge for them from the Flora International. So they were really keen to spread more knowledge and reaching a section of the audience that they hadn't reached before. So the cold audience that they wanted to make it quite fast, quite social, quite shareable, and also quite fun. So the idea we had was to set up. Well, initially the idea was really about fundraising, but that kind of in the background a bit later. So the idea we had initially was to set up a personality test that would match you against one of the threatened species. Already within a few hours, there became more romantic angle involved, so it was much more about matching people with trees in a kind of different way.
So we set up just, so we spent a lot of time putting questions together about, sort of essentially, were like a personality test, but really they were checking you against features or properties of trees that we got from the Flora and Fauna International database of 830 trees and hay of 32 species. Oh. So we spent a lot of time trying to get those, well, what Global Trees is calling cultural values, or tree values, out of various databases. That's how trees are either useful in a different way, or useful in certain contexts, or in a non-obvious way. So it's something that we really need to explain to somebody first. That's not necessarily obvious. Let me just show you the question that makes no sense what it said. So this is a set of questions, and based on that, we can match with the tree. I'm going to go through the question quickly so you can see the answers as well. So it's a climate firm wanting to narrow it down. So we will start, the full data is about 8,000 different trees, and with each question we narrow it down. Which one you think is most appropriate? The next one, here we can narrow it down according to whether these are trees that tend to stand alone or clusters. And this is kind of about the regions they're growing.
What's the question, Casper? So people watching, what's the question?
Okay, sorry. So this one is about how adventurous are you? You can say famous one in the name. I've been known to walk on the wide side, or caution is my name. Depending on how much those trees have to struggle. And then the next one is, do you live your life at a long pace, or do you think in spurts? Like the growth of those trees. How would you describe your build? Tall, slender, short and stocky, large. You stand out from the crowd, or do you blend in? It's very important to identify the correct set. So you have more chance of finding body. And one with the flag on your own street, and just one with the crowd. And finally, your day has a funny turn and starts to feel boring. Really, play the guitar with your toes and gas in the work. Find somewhere quiet to sit together while it passes, or dip into your extensive first aid kit and rustle up the right remedy. If you answer all those questions, you can match with one of those tree species. So we display very basic information about the basic facts, and then we were really trying to go for what Global Trees is calling the tree values. And that was quite difficult because obviously that's not something that you find in the database necessarily. So we had to write a bunch of those for just a small sample set. And this is just an example. And then the idea was that if you were matched with one of those, you can then share that with your friends, share it online, and hopefully also entice you to donate to protect the trees, or this particular tree. So for us, the next step is really to work on the data set. Because we need to find a quicker way of finding those stories about the value of those threatened tree species. We're working quite closely with these organizations already, but we haven't really had a tree expert on board. They can give us access to databases, give us general information
and we didn't really have an exercise with it. Read what we've written and set out. That doesn't really make sense. So that's quite key for the next step. And then our prototype's not live at the moment, so we need to make that fully functional. And then we're quite keen to have a map so we can show supporters if we match with the tree how to get to that tree. Is the better. Want to set up the connection to Just Giving, maybe develop some other calls to action, a bit more direct, a bit more activity, and hopefully in the far future develop this well. And it's Flora and Flora can actually work quite keen to actually set this up as a data app. So you can get matched with a tree and then matched with somebody else who's been matched with the same tree. You obviously have a lot in common. And yeah, but like, yeah, really good time.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks.
This is largely about awareness.
Yes, very much so.
Where are you wanting to put this survey out? What audiences, what locations?
Yeah, we were thinking of Twitter and Facebook mainly, because initially we really wanted to be social. And that's what the organizations said that they really like to reach those audiences more. They're hoping that a lot of the miners will want support for their campaigns.
And it looks a lot like the subcommittee see on BuzzFeed. You thought about trying and what that.
Yeah, we didn't think of BuzzFeed, but there are a lot of similar things around.
That's what I was thinking of Spaceworks.
Who are you working with?
Our team
around the world, yeah. Are they here?
No, a bunch of them were here.
Did they find their tree last? That's still
Where's their list of trees? Where are they hiding?
Sorry? Who's hiding?
Where's their list of trees?
Oh, no, that's fine.
It'd be quite good if it needed buying a tree for pay to pay.
Yes, that was the idea. There was sort of call to action would be quite specific, like you and that tree would be matched. So it wouldn't be just a general donation to
help them to operate.
Or location with let's yeah. Right, thank you.
Good stuff, let's not waste. Are you ready now? I have to apologize. I forgot to press the button on the webcast that means I'm choosing which thing is being shown, whether it's the people or the screen. So it's just going to be whatever Google thought was best for the first half. Sorry. But teams to get through to the next stage will do another presentation on Google Hangouts, kind of more with headset and screen sharing all properly set up on Wednesday, to the global judging panel on their theme, which could be at any hour of the day or night, depending on where the global judging panel is. So we thought we'd give you a few days rest before that happens, for the lucky ones.
You want to email somebody else?
It might not work better.
Is it your first hackathon? Oh, yeah, you
it's,
stood up.
Yeah, so it's my first hackathon, and Anyway, I guess I can introduce myself on story. Yeah, well, my name is Nuno, and this is my first hackathon. Initially, I had an idea of what this here would be, but when I got here, suddenly you're in the middle of people who are technically very savvy, and I found myself completely overwhelmed with tools, language, and lots of interesting things, which had me revisiting my plan and bringing up something completely different. So initially, I had thought I'd come over and we just draw up an IT system, and I'd work on a methodology that goes alongside it. But when I got here, I found that I needed to review everything to do with your user experience and how to bring down, how to simplify something which is quite complicated in terms of the matrix of stakeholders and activities and communications that are related to it. So I'm Nuno, and my career is in food. For the last few years, I've also been working with a project which is an MSP, and basically it relates to social business, and it was initially funded by the public sector, and now it's a for-profit facility rolling out fast. Thanks. Regards to the challenges, I believe this business case and the enabling IT system, I believe they match in more than one criteria. It is innovative in the sense that we will try to understand the difference between KPIs in traditional economics and the social benefits, social impacts, social units of impact. So we'll try and find a way to measure those. And basically, the problem lies on the definition of waste and acceptance. So basically, around the just to get a more or less, I think how long? Just so I get an idea.
I don't think it's going to work.
Okay, no problem.
Is it in Dropbox or anyone else?
No, but I mean it. Yeah.
What type PTA?
It doesn't even work.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the thing you came with at the start of the weekend? Like what was the idea you came with?
Oh, the idea was to produce an app that aims to steer services onto charitable projects. And since my expertise is in the public sector, it's transferable and adaptable to other realities. Yeah. Good.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So basically, I understand quite well the sector. I love food. It is one of my main hobbies is to cook, and basically we have extremely interesting experiences around food. But the problem lies on the fact that we do waste, and this is not just the fact that has to do with our business, with our trade practices, but also to do with our own habits and the way we handle this subject. It's not unique. Okay, so basically, the impacts of the current trade systems and our behaviors.
Without.
Okay. Now you're good.
Thanks a lot.
So.
Of course, it's not me.
Sorry?
It's not being streamed. I hope you haven't seen
It's not being streamed.
It's fine. I think
it's photos.
Do you want to swim again, or where are you?
It's fine, too. You know, too. So this is the problem, right? The problem basically just we have in the UK around 6.9 billion being wasted. So this is food that was due for human consumption, which is not being reintegrated back into the food system for human consumption. And this problem is not, of course, just exclusive to the UK. It's relevant to every geography, culture, administrative environment, or economic situation. This happens across the food vertical at any point. So it happens in the production, in rural environments, in fisheries, and it happens also in processing. Whatever the scale, it happens there. It happens as well in distribution, and this is a very serious issue because distribution, the whole paradigm of this trade, there is a lot of money that has to be compensated if we have to change these systems. So we are talking about surplus, not waste. Waste can be steered to a specific project. Yesterday, in our event, we had some surplus, and we attempted to steer this surplus onto a charity local to us that needed it and could potentially do so, and was willing to do so. So, regarding trade, okay, this is basically what happens. So we have trade practices, our business, and the inefficient projections for every environment around food. Fine. The current solutions, they're traditional. Right? We have a lot of effort, very considerable effort from governments, from public sector, that's one. They roll out huge amounts of projects, huge amount of resources to feed canteens, to grow and seed food banks all across the country, and corporate efforts are equally abundant. They measure their impacts differently, but they exist and they are highly available to be part of the solution. Third sector organizations, they do a colossal job, magnificent performance regarding the amount of resources they have and the knowledge they have access to. And regarding citizens, most of us are willing, but still stand by and see things happening, and we acknowledge that there's a problem. We don't yet have a seamless ability to move in and act. So basically the solution, this new solution, it brings us into an integrated layout where everyone is involved, all the stakeholders. We try to move into the collaborative peer-to-peer reality, and the solution is basically a better food system and an app which, with any luck, I might be able to show you just a very basic mock-up version of this app. The site, if you can, James.
Yeah.
That web. Right, perfect. Okay, so basically, you've heard about the application, mobile first environment, and you move in, and when you first visit, you have not download that. If this occurs, this means that you were not immediately sent to your photographic moment, which means that you were not previously registered. Otherwise, it would be a smooth transition to the action environment. So here, you choose an automatic form based on your social medias, or alternatively, email address and phone number to address the particularities of certain markets which are not so connected. Okay. Then, as soon as if you are already logged in, you go directly to a camera where you take a picture of your surplus that you are looking at. You have two immediate actions. You just identify the surplus type and subtype. You determine the level of the time availability for it, and you click on donate. Immediately, that was the donor interface. So now you get the beneficiaries. We first need to establish a connection, an effective connection. Not just an intent, but an effective connection. This is it. I am a beneficiary within the geography. I may not have ability to collect this donation and deliver it myself. So I have two options. I can click collect, in which case immediately this donation is no longer visible for any other beneficiary, and there's a match. Or I need help. find me a runner. And runners can be any one of us if this is something that we want to be involved in. I am okay with picking up plastic bags and sandwiches and taking it down the road to the children's center or to the geriatric or whatever. And so basically, the connections are established with information and reporting across stakeholder matrix. Thank you. One more. So in this case, we click. In case the beneficiary clicks collect, it means he has a ban, let's suppose, and immediately the donor, the beneficiary, and the runner get one message. The donation will be picked up and delivered between 7 to 9 p.m. by a person contacted. If there is a collected message, that means that this is an okay connection and things have happened as they were expected to happen. In the other case, previous case,
how can I have that?
I think you can go on the top right, you can go to 4. Right? Find me a runner. A notification is pushed to everyone who is matched to this particular donation. Runners is any one of us in the street, and we say, in my area, I'm available to help, up to 200 meters walks, or 5-kilometer drive, and I may or not do it for free, but if I want to cost this support, I can do so as well. This is extremely important to make sure that people engage. So, the runner, at some point, the runner, which is back one more, the runner will be, as soon as there is a beneficiary signature, we will know that the runner has done his job. He can be rated, he can act on that, and we have a OK delivery. And OK means that user ratings and impact reports are sent out immediately to governance, if they were the donors, to corporate sector, or to whoever, in whatever role they were playing. So that matrix is closed. Go. Okay. And not OK, just a message shows not OK maybe. D8. Thanks, James. Not OK, user rating and impact reports. There's another slide which is an audit is triggered by the system in case there is a no. Right, so that's the solution, and now I'm just going to see through proof of concept. We already know that that two-way. So we already know that the connections work. We have N community food projects ongoing and due to pop up all across the world in the thousands. London has excellent work being done by third sector organizations that have their databases for community food projects, and really like WeFood, and thousands are to come. The new user segments, the innovation comes in the user segments and roles. So we do have public sector coming in as engaging in the system, corporate sector, third sector, and for the development of the methodology, the different kind of KPIs, we need academia, scientific. So they will play a part. Roles, very simple. We have a donor. Any one of them can be a donor, a receiver, a logistics provider, or an observer. 9, the methodology is new. We're going to frame situations at local level. We can take a picture of a neighborhood or a region component. We will use, where available, the open data sets, otherwise traditional user entries. Objectives will be the reporting will be covered under social, environmental, and operational. And the co-monitoring and evaluations are done similarly as in other NSVs for running systems. Thank you for your time and most of your support.
I'm pretty stingy. What's got me my mate sign up for that? I have a creep through delivered to us.
You're not the beneficiary.
So is there a system, or is there a system device for verifying who the beneficiary is?
Yes. When you log in, you would, if you are directly to take a picture, it means that you have already been validated. And the thing is, the idea is to steer surplus onto charitable organizations. It has to do with waivers of risk for everyone that is involved. So we don't want to have food given to someone who's then going to garden and make a party or hand out in his own regime. We clearly want to address the problem and tackle the waste management issue, the resource efficiency for every resource involved in the production of this food and the weight of it as it is now.
So, keep talking about this is getting a lot of companies that are for the pop-ups that are receiving food in the platform. You mentioned that app, or you're working on it. How are you going to get people on this platform sustainably to stay on it, using it? Not a one-time thing. Yeah.
Well, we think that the engagement process we think that people will be motivated by climate change. So the big value propositions that we're selling to government is the generation of new model of management, right? And they don't have data. They don't know what happens at the bottom line or what happens with the food, how projects are handled with food. For the companies, it's quite important that they can translate their contribution change into their data reports.
So say the way you're going to go to those nonprofits, those food banks, and get them to YouTube as a platform.
Just to let platform, food will come together.
But you need them all. They already have all these, right?
They are short resources such as food. They will plan it and food that is valid for human consumption.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Making work, seeing it help them. Have you looked at also partnering with some newer houses like the fast small ways?
What you're saying, if you notice some of the progressive disclosure information examples I saw rather they project feed and we can be mutually beneficial. Clearly.
Okay. Thank you.
One last thing. Seriously, technical support from someone. I will be looking for videos.
Well, in the world of this. Got some people doing something like here. Last one? Well done.
Screen share.
Yeah. Thomas, right? Yeah. It's working. So will it be working when you plug it in?
With regards to the question about who's working with you, well, I'm not more local, so I'm not sure of the names of the consumer value of our platform. It's the hardest part.
Yeah, it stops screen sharing now.
But it's not how you make it. So the platform do this and say, hey, everybody out there in the world, if you have to, this is how to keep it. This is how the best way to get it to us.
Yep.
Two things. Because people in their councils.
What's the problem with it? Basically, it was only a campaign for
solar, schools in the UK to run on solar power. Solar had plenty of costs to recent years, particularly enormous costs in many of the costs usually solar enterprise and despite costs of subsidies that investment at a school in particular, you reckon up to £8,000 a year to build a decent sized installation. But only a tiny number of you state that schools actually take advantage of this so far as the school. So what we want to do is to build an online system, make it easy for schools to find out how much electricity and money they get in solar. It's a very quick one to go through what we built for the UK and go into detail on the but just looking at school postcode locations. So for instance, it shows schools in the rural economies in the north of we've got school electricity usage data there for 12 and 13, worked out how much each school spent for electricity. Secondly, we've got women survey building projects for London. Thirdly, we get isolating school performance within that set of projects. And then the complicated bit which I don't quite understand at all, and I talk about, which is much better to read the global area data and formula calculations and so on. So this is the screen graph that we're showing the front end factors that we built for us.
Is it live?
No, that's very nice. Right, so here's a website on my site. There's a bit of information about our problem statement. So it's a website. Basically, is that most schools take solar power to save money. They aren't sure how to get solar panels. Can't afford it. Ideas to help with that. And so what you can do is you can check your find your school and find out how much money you can save. So
let's go for like St. Vincent School in Barnet, for example. So they used 91,000 kilowatt hours last year. So that should be kilowatt hours, and they spent £8,000 on electricity bills. And so I wrote some Python code to calculate the using the polygon data to calculate the area of the roof and roughly estimate what percentage of that area is roof space. And if we start with the default, so say 5% of the roof is covered with solar panels, then this is how much money they can save per year. This is the upfront cost of getting that those number of solar panels to cover that area, and how many years it would take for them to make back the money that they spent to get the solar panels in the first place. And here is just what was shown earlier. You can single out the schools in the among the buildings, and down here is some contact details. So yeah, that's a summary of our website, and I'll pass it on to Philippa, who will describe her part of the project using LiDAR data to map shading and calculate solar irradiance.
Yeah. Thank you. Do you need to use the mic or alternatively I'll mute that one?
Sorry?
Probably use the mic.
Hello?
Because it's picking up here.
Hello, testing. No.
It's off.
It's not it.
Testing, testing. Yeah. Okay, so the calculations you saw previously were assuming all the roofs were flat. and it just computed their area and then used an average sun value to give an approximate information. So this is a more precise methodology that I'll hopefully integrate into the main web app soon. But what this uses is LiDAR data, which gives you a height value for, I think they've covered all the UK now with varying resolution. The data I use has sample points 1 meter spaced apart in a grid. So essentially what I did was take this LiDAR data, turn it into a mesh, which is basically a surface, and then color it in based on, firstly, so running simulations are based on the sun's power at a certain time of day, so maximum midday and then not in the middle of the night, and then also factoring in the angle of the roof compared to the sun. So this is a smooth version of the LiDAR data, and red is areas of large exposure. It's still quite low resolution, but and also it includes the ground, which you don't really put solar panels on the ground. But red is areas of lots of exposure, and blue is not, which is behind the buildings. This is running as a native app on my netbook, but it should be on the web app soon. And then,
it's like 10 a.m., isn't it?
Yeah, this is 10 a.m. in March, and this is another simulation which is slightly lower resolution, but this is averaging over the whole day, where I take a sample every hour and then basically compute the average. You can see that this image is sort of, there's more green, which is the middle color between blue and red, because of the averaging. But you can see that some roofs are colored more red than others, which basically means they get more exposure. And then the sides of the buildings are in blue, because we're sort of facing away from the sun right now.
What's the scale of that? What area?
So
this is a portion of Oxford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe this is the square that's showing is 70 meters by 70 meters, because there's the numbers I put in. Of course, it needs work. The main next step will be to use the polygon data that they were showing you and be able to isolate the buildings before running the simulation, so you don't include the ground and you don't get these weird artifacts where you're looking at where the walls are, just looking at the roofs based on that polygon data.
We discovered a couple of roof detection algorithms that are possibly used to determine what the angle of the roof is, what is the roof and what isn't the roof.
We've got a couple more slides, haven't we? So, do we still need to speak into the mic? Do we still need to speak into the mic? Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so really quickly, just to answer a question which is, yeah, we really want to continue doing this. We need to hook together the map front-end site 3D mapping data. So being upfront about that, we also need to, resolve an issue with the lack of school polygon data. So we were hoping we might be able to find a data set which showed all school polygons in the UK. Doesn't seem that anybody's actually built that yet, but it doesn't seem to be extensively on OpenStreetMap, and yeah, so we've got the point source data to postcode data for
some of the polygons cover more than just the story, they cover row houses, so we need more accurate open data for that.
Which is obviously a general problem. I mean, it'd be great if BOS got more accurate in what they were doing as well. And yeah, so as Philip said, maybe find high resolution data to be LiDAR mapping. So yeah, if you want to keep in touch, there's our Twitter handles, and thanks to everyone for.
Oh, and also GitHub at the bottom.
And there's the link, so if you want to get that, we'll get the code and stuff. Cheers. Yeah.
I sit on my child's school fundraising committee. Do you think it needs to be any more accurate? Is it not? Is it a calculator just to get the school thinking? Because it seems like you've kind of achieved that. You've given me a calculator which I can calculate and start to at least generate.
Well, we don't want to sort of lie about how much. Well, it's not lying, but we want to show like really how much money you can save, and making assuming that the roof is flat is quite a wild assumption to make. I mean,
but it's also, if you have limited resources, particularly in money, you want to know which areas of your roof you should target
I would have to limited resources. You've got something that you can actually take to market and actually test and see if the map time school go, oh, this is interesting. And then
So I mean, it's quite possibly. I was going to say it's quite possibly something we would be keen to use with our campaign, and also if you're interested as well, if you're since you're part of the school board. Sorry, I wasn't sure if guys.
Similar ones. How are you going to drive schools?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for example, we've already got 500 schools signed up showing an interest in the campaign that Friends of the Earth is running. So we could send this as a kind of next tool to them to be able to say you can calculate your solar potential. So that way. Otherwise, I mean, kind of the potential of just being able to show schools that there is this sort of savings you can be making is obviously a kind of bit of a self-interested incentive.
But also, we're based at Imperial College, also engagement hub, and they get involved in lots of like science festivals in schools, and they pair up PhD students with pupils in schools to choose them in maths and sciences and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of help we can get, certainly from college, to help spread the word among schools.
Why are you focusing only on schools? Feels like a pretty consumer-facing proposition as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think
it gives hope to start. I think this definitely can be applied to domestic houses as well.
And I think it's the scale thing as well. So we've got 500,000 households in the UK so far installed solar panels. There's obviously a lot more households than that could be installing it as well. But there's definitely a kind of gap in the market in the mid-range solar as well, where if you look at between like the number of installations between 4 to 10 kilowatt hour, 4 to 10 kilowatt solar installations in the UK is tiny, really, compared to like the ones for sub 4 kilowatts. So there's a real gap there, I think, which is around awareness and financing. But this is hopefully going some way to help remedy.
Also, the thing is that public buildings are larger than houses in general. They tend to have more accurate data on the shape of the houses, like the area of the roof and stuff like that. So that's why it was one of the reasons of focusing on the schools rather than houses first.
Could the low carbon council project, or any actions that that council is to you as something for you today?
Yeah, I mean that's certainly a good idea to see if we can somehow integrate both those services together.
Great.
Any other questions?
Benefits jump in.
All right, I think it's time to stand up and thank you everyone for presenting. Please, okay, give the panel 10 minutes or so. Okay, right.
That's one. Everyone watching, the judges are thinking about what the project, what they saw, and they're going to go first, second, and third. And we're going to come back in about 10 minutes to announce those. So stay on the line, and we'll announce those. the judges here in London are just about to announce the winning 3 teams out of the 8 projects that we saw. All 3 of whom will be featured on #Climate and go forwards to global judging on Wednesday.
Would you like to have the top 10 months? To give the top 10 months. Top 10.
Top 10. I would love to.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah, well, yes. Definitely. Yeah. Beautiful. Nice.
It's not just one
That's really cool.
Alright.
I'm going to have to fly to British afterwards.
Alright.
Go back to my family. So.
Yeah, well done this weekend.
Sorry?
Given a lot of time this weekend.
It's super event. How you bring all the global groups together, to be honest, so well done.
Not quite as, yeah, but it was pretty awesome.
I think I've run a hackathon, large scale one next year. Probably starting to involve charities. So I'll send it to you.
Yeah. I'd love to be involved. I'm really pleased. Like, actually, we had 9 projects. Plus a couple of others who've been working on interesting things as well.
Yeah, but definitely still to come as well.
Yeah. Okay, are we ready? Yeah, we're live, we're on air.
No, good.
This question.
Okay, alright. So definitely for the presentation.
48 hours after we started this.
Okay, so we started yesterday. 4 p.m.
Tension building. Come on, judges. Come on, judges. Are you ready? Are we ready? Yeah, let's go.
Is this working?
Yeah.
Yes. And where's the subscription stuff? Yes. Strong. Perfect. Okay, so we have a top 3. I'm going to pick the first of those, so our bronze medal goes to the Tree Motion project. We thought that was specific, very good in terms of impact, in terms of engagement, humorous element to sort of break through the barrier that some people have to climate change topics. So well done, guys. Really good. Thank you very much.
Stand up and be photographed. And... No, honestly, in all honesty. Photo.
Awesome handshake.
Yeah. Or high five is the easiest way.
And for our silver medals, it is low carbon councils. For me, I hadn't been exposed to seeing that view of the councils. So it's great to see that, and there was already some tweets that went out on that action. So it's great that now it's getting out there. Now for y'all is how do you make it beyond just excitement it already is, but take action. Be place that you go to other councils. Great work.
Yeah. High five.
I would very much like to announce the gold medalists. And as was mentioned before, running a co-living space incubator. It's a pretty cool space just north of Old Roundabout, full of mentors as well, which isn't full yet. So I'd like to give the winning team a month's worth of free workspace mentoring events, whatever you want. Come down and we'll chat and see if we can actually have this idea even more that already has been this weekend. So I'd like to announce. I'd like to say that Schools Run on Sun is the goal.
And yeah, very quickly, you guys were great. You have a really viable commercial proposition that you should develop, and I'd be happy to help do it. So keep plugging along, guys. Lots of stuff can happen with your proposition. And get schools thinking more about saving money. Cheers.
So, thank you, judges. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, judges. Thank you, everyone, for participating. all three of the teams present in top three in London will go forwards into the global challenge structuring process. So they'll be presenting to a global panel alongside winning teams on the same theme as them this Wednesday. And we'll be in contact to let you know what time that will be. A 1 hour slot for hangouts on air with some incredible, more incredible global structures organizations all around the world. So a chance to really get some global exposure for what you're doing. All three of those projects will also be featured and able to put some action up on hashtag climate, which is going to be another great way to get a lot of exposure, especially amongst intellectual people and services and the likes. And very pleased to give both of those opportunities. And really for every project that's been built, it's now kind of my job and the rest of the Geeklist team, as well as all of the mentors and organizations involved, to help you find opportunities to continue these projects. And I really want to do that any way I can, with any introductions that we can make, any way that we can get exposure and maybe even your attention for any of the projects, regardless of which way you're based. Thank you everyone for being part of it. We want to make a couple of little announcements as well. So, yeah. Want to say anything? Thank you.
I forgot to say earlier, for anyone who hasn't chosen their listing or anything else, it should use the first best for them. So I'm not going to say the track space, but whatever they do is works great, but you can use it. If you need those things, it's part of this program, and all the start office we sponsor. We have our start program. It's £1,300 a month or something like that. So if you're interested, if you're taking the product further, you need those things, or beyond that, you need help doing it. These are just managed those things through all your service.
Did anyone use Carter DB? Carter DB. Carter DB. Lots of that.
Another round of applause for that.
Next time, I definitely want someone else to lead London. What? Yeah, well, I'm quite sure on the world, haven't I? So, as I mentioned, ThinkWeb is a great way for all of us to stay in touch and meet up on a regular basis. We've really want to be growing Hackathon into a bigger community. We'll be doing a series of more events. That's probably one big hackathon within the next 6 months, or maybe in the next year. So we're all now part of the core developers. With core developers, you've had your training. A few of you have had several sessions of training. Great, and let's continue making a big impact in the world. And there's, I think, well, not too long. We're allowed to stay here until like 9, I think, 9.
London signing off. Until next time, hackers have changed the world.